Right, guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, Tom and I are going to be talking about the lonely world of SMMA. So, Tom, SMMA, how lonely of a place can it be? And what's your experience?
Okay, so it can be, but it's like any business owner starting your own company, doing it on your own. It can be a really lonely world. SMMA is no different. Okay, I actually have less experience of this than you, Harry, because when I first started my SMMA, I did it with a friend, and I actually would encourage that concept to people and say that if you are looking at starting an SMMA, maybe team up with a buddy of yours and do it together. Learn together, grow together, develop together, execute together, get close together, and then eventually you've got a business where two of you are picking up work and you're bouncing off each other, and you're picking each other up when things get a bit tough, or you're feeling like you're knocking your head against a brick wall, or we all have tough times. It's not a happy world all the time. So yeah, in terms of it being lonely, it can, like any job can. It can be a very lonely place where you've got your own thoughts. You'll be hit with some rejection, and it's like how you channel that. So for me, I had a business partner when I first started. A very good friend of mine, still is to this day. Speak to him every week. But I was actually involved with someone else, and then obviously that I left that, and me and Harry joined a team. So I then joined with Harry. So I've never actually been out and out solo.
Yeah.
So that's my story, but it can be lonely. But Harry, you talk about how you felt.
Yeah, I mean, when I started mine when I was 19, and then I did the other side hustles before. And it can be very lonely in the sense that, you're sat at your desk when you don't have a client, you're sat there sending messages on LinkedIn, cold calling on your own. You get told to fuck off. You're kind of in a room by yourself. No one to go, oh, that was funny, wasn't it? Like you are just on your own, and you kind of got to keep yourself disciplined. You've got to keep yourself consistent. You've just got to keep yourself in check, which can be quite a lonely place, especially when you've not got, ideas to bounce off people, or you're really struggling. You can't go to someone in the industry and be like, oh, didn't get a single answer on a cold call today. And I think that's why I get so many messages on Instagram, and so do you. And that's why I purposely make an effort to reply to everyone on Instagram. Even if they're selling me, I'll say no thank you. It can be a really lonely place. And since we joined our agencies together, and we've hired more team members that we can bounce ideas off, it does massively help. It really does. Even down to you've had a client for 3 months, you've got loads of ads up, and those ads are starting to become saturated, and you've kind of exhausted your creativity on a particular task with a client. Being able to go to someone and being like, oh, what do you think of this idea? Do you have any other ideas that you could put a spin on this? Like getting a second set of eyes on a particular task can be super helpful. And I think that's the lonely side of SMMA, which people don't talk about. Is it's all down to your kind of creativity. It's down to your mind keeping you in check. It's your stress levels are going to be higher than split with 2 people, and if stuff goes wrong, it's down to you to keep the train moving forward. I think that's the toughest part.
It is. And I think the other thing, the reason why we did this video is, again, I don't think a lot of people talk about it. This is what the whole idea of our channel is, to bring the real side of SMA to everyone. But also, I think people don't talk about it because they want to show that they are lonely. And it's not just being lonely in work. It's about being lonely in life is a big thing. A lot of people now work remotely from home, like you said. And sometimes when you start an SMMA, people will be like, what are you doing that for? That's never going to work. And they hit you with negativity, and you can't, it's sometimes quite lonely in that sense too, where you don't feel supported by the closest people to you.
Yeah.
I think that's something that's really, really key. So surround yourself with positive people is a big one. If you are feeling a bit lonely, this all goes down to really a bit of stuff on mental health, but surround yourself with positive people. Watch positive content. Okay, so as much as I love watching people like Andrew Tate, okay, he's not always a great influence, because lots of things he will say which will affect people and have a strong impact on them. I came off TikTok, for example, when I was, there's times when A, it was a distraction, but B, and it was Instagram and things like that. And I found myself consuming content that actually was quite negative on failure.
Yeah.
Things like that make you feel quite melancholy and like on your own. So just be wary of the content you're watching, be wary of the people around you, make sure it's positive people. And write your thoughts down too. I think that's a big one. If you're feeling lonely, write your thoughts down, write how your day was, do a day summary and how you were feeling, and it will really help you channel that lonely feeling of being on your own, starting a business.
Yeah.
Some of the loneliest people in business are actually like fitness trainers. They like that is a really lonely world, for example, because and they actually deal with face-to-face clients, but they can't talk about their business and the struggles with their face-to-face clients because it shows like they almost like undermines their business.
Yeah.
But it's very, very lonely for them. Very.
It is. And I think that's why this isn't a plug for the academy, and this is not what this video is about, but that's one of the main reasons why we have the live calls with the academy, because we know that a lot of the people that join and a lot of people that start up SMMAs are on their own, or there's two of them, or there's they're solo people trying to get their business off the ground, and having a live call to turn up to every week where you can connect with Tom and I, you connect with 20, 25 other people that are on the live call, hundreds of people in the Discord. Like you're gaining access to a community where you can bounce ideas off. So it's not necessarily you have to have a business owner that you split 50% of the profits with. It's just having someone there that understands the industry you're in to bounce ideas off, to be like, oh, do you feel like this when a client leaves you, or whatever it is. And we try and make an effort to make these type of videos on here, like our previous video, which was when we lost a 2K a month client. So you can come on, relate to us, and realize that you aren't alone in the experiences you have, because there's nothing that you're going to experience in SMMA that other people haven't also experienced.
Good point. This is why we do all these videos, because it is. Yeah, I feel for people at times, particularly when they're starting and they're getting a lot of rejection. That's the most vulnerable time you'll ever be, is when you don't have a client. That is your most vulnerable time.
If you're watching the video on YouTube, put a comment in the comment section of the video saying not what you think of the videos, but whether you've seen this type of content before, because I've never seen it. Like, I've been in this, like, we've both been in this space for years, and I've never seen content from people that own an SMMA talking as openly and as freely as we do. Like, show me a channel that does, and this isn't us attacking other channels, like, do what you please, but I just don't think there's someone that really pulls the curtain back on their agency and talks as openly and freely as we do. Like, I feel like a lot of people on YouTube, they talk from a place where they want everyone to think they own $100,000 a month agency. They never make mistakes. They've got like the perfect business, but it's definitely
like the
not.
built for you, done for you models. Like, if I see any more of that shit,
it just doesn't exist.
Dreadful.
Like, no matter who you're following on YouTube, they have problems in their business right now. It's every business that's producing a good amount of revenue every month has fucking issues in their business. Obviously, you can solve them,
and they have issues in their life too. And this is something, again,
people.
Again, this is what Instagram has forced us to believe, is that everyone lives the perfect life. You would probably look at my Instagram or your Instagram, Harry, and be like, oh wow, they live the perfect life. We don't have a perfect life. We have a lot of struggles, and which can make us, again, going back, can feel lonely. I've got kids that I worry about. I've got kids I care for. I've got people in my life that I have to care for too, and you can't put your pressures onto them, so you end up inheriting a lot of this loneliness. But you're right. Like, put a comment down below just to say how how you're feeling and what type of content you've seen before, and have you seen it, because we're interested to know. But we are exposing the world of entrepreneurship, starting your own business, SMMA as the model that we follow, and I'm just keeping it relevant and real to people, I'd say.
Yeah, and I hope people, like you guys watching, I'm sure you are, because you wouldn't turn up every day to watch the videos or download them on Spotify. But hopefully these type of videos are helping you along the journey and seeing the real side of SMMA, because that is the number one goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, should we wrap it up there, mate? Or is there anything more?
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah. Well, hope you enjoyed that video, guys. And if you've not watched our previous video was on some.
It was actually on, Harry never remembers what our last video was on, but it was on how to get to 10K a month with just 6 clients. So
Lovely.
good video. Definitely worth a listen on Spotify, or if you're on the train, on the plane, on the bus, in the car, whatever, or even watching it on YouTube. So there we go.
Yeah. Give it a watch and we'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m.